Twisters is a movie that I'm going to do a review of right now. So, this is a summer blockbuster film, and it is the, I don't know, reboot, sequel of Twister, which was out in when I was a kid with Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. Really loved that film. Watched it a lot when I was a kid. This was like almost on my top 10 of the year. It was like an honorary mention. So I was quite excited to see this film. And let me tell you who was in it. So I'm just going to look at my phone. If you have an issue with that, let me know in the comments below. So this was starring Glenn Powell, who's, I guess, the new Hollywood man that is in everything, Daisy Edgar Jones, Anthony Ramos, and it was directed by Lee Isaac Chung, who directed that Minari film. So what is this film about? It's about tornado chasers. It's about trying to learn more about tornadoes and having this sort of new technology where they could potentially kill a tornado if needed. That's like the theory behind it, right? So, what did I think of this film? I actually thought it was really fun. I watched it. The tornado scenes were really great. It was exciting. It was thrilling. It was charismatic, I would say. But I do have some things to say about it. It was missing something that the original Twister had. So, in the original Twister, we've got Bill Paxton coming back into the game, right? With his super sort of posh kind of uppity wife, and he's coming back into the game because he needs to get divorce papers signed by Helen Hunt. So that's the only reason Bill Paxton is there with his super uppity wife, really posh, and it's this bickering back and forth electricity between Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. And it's great because these two lead actors, they look like they're like, late 30s, in their 40s even type of people. They're like real adults, and that's really like exciting to see. This new one seems to firstly be filled with kind of, I guess, younger people, much younger stars, which is fine. I just feel like everything's younger stars these days, but especially in like blockbusters, everybody has to be super young, which is fine. So I've got nothing against that, but it's a dynamic of young people interacting with each other that I've seen so much of, and I love it. I consider myself a kind of young, a little bit young sort of, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, that dynamic of young people going out and doing something exciting and dangerous. I get that. I've seen that so much, and it's fun to watch. But that original Twisters was super special because it was a bickering old married couple in the middle of this huge action film. Like, that's what this was like. That made it so special. It made it so, I don't know, electrifying and integral. This married couple bickering, shouting at each other, this uppity posh wife completely like a fish out of water type of vibe, chasing tornadoes, trying to get divorce papers signed. It's like, wow, this is a super human story. This is a romance story you barely ever get to see in action films or adventure films. The old bickering married couple going through a divorce and then rekindling through the turmoil of the adventure that they're going on. In Twisters, the new one, it's really just, beautiful young woman falls in love with a beautiful young man, and they don't exactly have tons of chemistry. They're just both very beautiful, and then they very sort of boringly seem to fall in love, almost, basically. Like, that's the love story. I don't even know if you would call it a love story. I could barely see it. Apparently there's a triangle in it, which I didn't even kind of notice. It's very, very subtle triangle. So you're like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I see that in nearly every film. Meet, like, two people meet for the first time and they're attracted to each other because they're both very attractive people, and then they fall in love. All the while they're chasing tornadoes. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that storyline. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that premise, but man, Twister, the original one, that was such a exciting bouncing off each other premise, like real dueling married partners dueling with each other, so much love for each other and so much hate for each other, you know, that constant back and forth, like you can cut the sexual tension with a knife, because you know these two just have just had a great sex their whole life, and for whatever reason life spun them out of love with each other, and they kind of dislike each other and hate each other so much, and but they know each other so well, right? Like that's another dynamic. And it's like, wow, that original twist, of that real 90s flavor of overlapping dialogue, you know, the script seems to be written like completely like over each other, where it's like that's real Spielbergian vibe. It almost feels improvised in a way. It's just like, oh, this is so realistic. I feel like I'm really watching a married couple have an argument. And yeah, this one is like, no, this is a Hollywood couple falling in love with each other. They're going to say their lines, they're going to fall in love. And it's like, okay, well, cool, I get that. The tornado scenes are great. I will say, I don't know if it's because I'm a bit older, that I don't know, it just felt like the same action scene over and over again. Which, what else am I supposed to expect from it? Like, I think I'm maybe nitpicking here, but yeah, it's like, oh, exciting tornado bit, and then back to these people meeting each other who are very beautiful, and then oh, exciting tornado bit, and then back to oh, really beautiful people kind of talking and flirting and getting to know each other. Oh, really tornado bit. And so yeah, I get that it was a bit like okay, the same set sequence over and over again. But to be fair, I really enjoyed all the tornado bits. I'm a big fan of natural disaster films, and yeah, I've never seen a tornado. I'd love to see a tornado, so this is probably the closest I'll ever get. So I'll probably watch it again when it comes out on streaming.